Samparivakara Stotra Shatashishi Srimad Divine Grace Shila Charanarvind Bhakti Vedanta Swami Shila Prabhupada Ki Jai ISKCON Founder Acharya Beauty Founder Acharya Save the whole world Jagat Guru Shila Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vinda Ki Jai Namacharya Shila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Nitai Gaur Premanande Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudhirayet Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavat Sevaya Bhagavatyuttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 5, Texts 3 and 4. We will read text 3 together. Denunam Niyute Pradad Denunam Niyute Pradad Viprebhyaha Samalankrite Viprebhya Samalankrite Tila Adrin Sapta Ratna Ogha Tiladrin Sapta Ratna Ogha Shata Kaumba Ambara Avritam Shata Kaumba Ambara Avritam Shata Kaumbhamba Shatakaumbhambaravritan Denunam Niyute Pradat Viprebhya Samalankrite Tiladrin Sapta Ratnaugha Shatakaumbhambaravritan Denunam Niyute Pradad Viprebhya Samalankrite Tiladrin Sapta Ratnaugha Shatakaumbhambaravritan Denunam of milk giving cows. Niyute 2 million. Pradat gave in charity. Viprebhyaha onto the Brahmanas. Samalankrite completely decorated. Tila Adrin hills of grain. Sapta 7. Ratna Oga Shata Kaumba Ambara Avritan covered with jewels and cloth embroidered with gold. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Charanarvind Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. Nanda Maharaj gave 2 million cows completely decorated with cloth and jewels in charity to the Brahmanas. He also gave them 7 hills of grain covered with jewels and with cloth decorated with golden embroidery. I'll repeat the translation. Nanda Maharaj gave 2 million cows, completely decorated with cloth and jewels, in charity to the Brahmanas. He also gave them 7 hills of grain covered with jewels and with cloth decorated with golden embroidery. Text 4. Kalena snana shauchabhyam samskarais tapase jyaya shuddhyanti dane santushtya dravyani atmatma vidyaya. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Prabhupada. Translation. O King, by the passing of time, land and other material possessions are purified. By bathing, the body is purified. And by being cleansed, unclean things are purified. By purificatory ceremonies, birth is purified. By austerity, the senses are purified. And by worship and charity offered to the Brahmanas, material possessions are purified. By satisfaction, the mind is purified. And by self-realization or Krishna consciousness, the soul is purified. Purport. These are Shastric injunctions concerning how one can purify everything according to Vedic civilization. Unless purified, anything we use will infect us with contamination. In India, 5,000 years ago, even in the villages such as that of Nanda Maharaj, people knew how to purify things, and thus they enjoyed even material life without contamination. Thus ends the Bhaktivinoda purport and translation to Canto 10, Chapter 5, texts 3 and 4 of Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled The Meeting of Nanda Maharaj and Vasudeva. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namavom Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschati Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Shukadeva Goswami is continuing to narrate about Nanda Maharaj's meeting with Vasudeva soon after the Namakarna ceremony, which he performed in Gokula in his cow shed secretly. So Nanda Maharaj comes to Mathura to pay his annual taxes to Kamsa, who was the king at that time. And after paying the taxes, he meets with Vasudeva, who is his own cousin brother, and they both were very, very close friends. So at the time of Krishna's birth, how did Nanda Maharaj celebrate Krishna's birth is described here in these verses. First of all, Dhenu Nam Niyute Pradat. Prabhupada writes, Dhenu Nam means milk-giving cows, not barren cows. So Denunam Niyute. Niyute means 2 million. That means 20 lakhs. Pradat means to give. Dadati. Dat. Pra means prakrishta rupena. Diyate. Pradat. That means the act of giving or the act of donating. Charity. So Niyute Pradat Dhenunam. He gave 2 million milk giving cows in charity to the Brahmanas. Means 20 lakh cows he donated at the time of Krishna's birth for the Namakarana ceremony. In Vedic culture, any samskara, last class I described about samskara very briefly, purificatory method, especially for human beings, it is a must. So in every samskara, when it is performed, generally it is accompanied by chanting of Vedic hymns, all glorifying Vishnu, ultimately, and also giving charity at the end of the ritual. You can see very commonly practiced by all the Vedic followers. Whenever there's an auspicious ceremony performed or an auspicious occasion in one's house, one should give charity to the Brahmanas. That is also described here, we will see. So, Dhenu Nam Niyute Pradat. So, Nanda Maharaj very promptly, very happily gave in charity to the Brahmanas 2 million cows. And what kind of cows they were? They were completely decorated with cloth and jewels. Viprebhyaha. Viprebhya means Brahmanas. Samalankrite. Where did Prabhupada get this word with cloths and jewels? It is from the word Samalankrite. Sama alankrite. Completely. Sama means completeness. Alankrite, nicely decorated with cloth and jewels. So the cows were all decorated with jewels, with gold, with silk cloths. Viprebhyaha. And this was given in charity to the Brahmanas. Krishna describes in the Bhagavad Gita, 17th chapter, who is qualified to receive charity. Actually, Brahmanas and sannyasis and brahmacharis. There are only 3 categories of people in the human society who are qualified and eligible to receive charity, not others, not anybody else. Kshatriyas and Vaishyas, they should give charity to purify their occupation, purify their living, purify their profession, purify their existence. They must, not should, they must perform charity. This is also discussed in the 18th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Yajna dana tapak karma na tyajyam iti chapare. Yajno dana tapasyeva pavanani manishinam. The 18th chapter Krishna describes. And Krishna says that is even his opinion. And it is also the opinion of great enlightened souls. So Krishna is saying, Yajna dana tapa. Yajna means sacrifice, dana means charity, and tapa means tapasya. Should never be given up under any circumstance. Because Yajna dana tapasyaiva pavanani manishina. Pavanani means purification. To purify. The act of being purified. Act of purification. So manishinam, even enlightened souls it will purify. What to speak of common man? Krishna has used the word manishinam. Means highly enlightened souls. Even they should not give up yajna, dana and tapasya. What to speak of common men? In the the 5th verse of the 18th chapter, Krishna spoke about this. So in this regard, tapasya is meant for sannyasis, dana is meant for grahasthas, and yajna is meant for brahmacharis. Some categorization is there. Because one's earning must be purified, otherwise it will accrue contamination. That is why by giving charity, his earning remains pure. And then he can, after giving charity, he can spend that money, it remains pure. So as I said, whom should we give charity? As Krishna says here, the 17th chapter. Yeah. See, Krishna describes 3 kinds of charity. Charity in the mode of goodness, charity in the mode of passion, and charity in the mode of ignorance. So in the 17th chapter, text 20, 21 and 22, Krishna describes about this point. Datavyam iti yad danam diyate anupakarine deshe kale cha patre cha tad dhanam satvikam smritam. This is defined as charity in the mode of goodness. What is that? Datavyam iti yad danam diyate anupakarine and deshe kale cha patre cha, then only tad dhanam satvikam is considered satvikam smritam. What is that? Datavyam iti yad dhanam. Charity must be given to a worthy person. Datavyam. It must be worth giving and to a worthy person. Datavyam iti yad dhanam. Then anupakarine. Upakara, opposite of that is anupakara. That means you should not expect any return when you give charity. What is it I am getting? Just like people typically ask when they give a donation. So what are the benefits, Swamiji? First thing they ask, right? That is mode of passion. So, okay, I'll give donation, Swamiji. So what is it what we will get from that donation? Then sometimes we will tell 2-3 sevas are there. So in this seva, what you get? In this seva, if I give, what I will get? In that seva, if I do, what I will get? You see, this is mode of passion. But mode of goodness means anupakarine, not expecting any return. And deshe kale cha patre cha. One should also consider proper time, place, and patra, worthy person. So in other words, Prabhupada explains in the purport here, indiscriminate charity is discouraged by Lord Krishna. Indiscriminate charity. It is not that I have given charity, it is over, that's all. No, it is not over. You have to be discriminate in giving charity. And Prabhupada also says in the purport a very important point, in all activities, whether yajna, dana, tapasya, mantra, japa, whatever one may perform, ritual, homa, vrata, whatever you undertake, in Vedic training, spiritual advancement is always the highest consideration in all these activities. Whether I am going to advance spiritually or not. See, this consideration and understanding is not there. Although people perform a lot of rituals, they perform a lot of homas, they chant a lot of mantras, and many a times, more than ISKCON devotees, looks like people chant more mantras And even devotees do not know, by and large, we don't know so many mantras. People really know too many mantras and too many rituals and too many vratas. Even in ISKCON, we don't have that many vratas. Apparently, it may appear like that. But what is the use of all those vratas and rituals if spiritual advancement is not the consideration? If the beneficiary is not Vishnu, Bhoktaram Yagna Tapasam, Krishna explains this in the 5th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Bhoktaram, the enjoyer or the beneficiary of all the sacrifices, rituals, homas, vratas which you perform must be Krishna. But we take up vrata, we take up upavas. Why? We have an agenda. Some material purpose we have in our mind, with which we very devoutly, very rigidly execute our vratas, our mantras, our pujas, our bhajans. That is material, not spiritual. Anyway, coming back to this words. So, spiritual advancement is always the consideration. So, indiscriminate charity is discouraged in the Bhagavad Gita. So, Desha, Kala, Patra, all these things also must be considered. Prabhupada says in the purport, charity is recommended to be given at a place of pilgrimage and at lunar and solar eclipse. So, whenever there is grahana, you should give charity. Or at the end of the month. That's why sometimes people give March month, they give donation. So, it also matches with the end of the month. Or to a qualified Brahmana or a Vaishnava or in temples. Such charity should be given without any consideration of return. Then charity performed with expectation of return. Yattu pratyupakarartham, upakarartham, prati, upakarartham. That means expectation of return from the charity. Phalam uddishya va punaha. Phalam uddishya. So he's expecting benefit from his charity. Diyate, he gives. Pariklishtam, sometimes people give in a grudging mood. Thodoge, take this, go away from here. Giving in a grudging mood. Pariklishtam. With expectation of return, with desire for fruitive results. Pratyupakarartham, then phalam uddishya and pariklishtam. 3 things. Pratyupakarartham means expecting return from his charity. Phalam uddishya means with a desire for fruitive result. They want a child, want a marriage to happen, want a good job, want to settle some kind of difficulty they're going through in family life. Or they want to attain some higher status in life. And pariklishtam, giving charity in a grudging way, said to be in the mode of passion. Rajasam smritam tad danam. Rajasam smritam. What about charity in tamoguna? Adesha kale yaddanam apadrebhyascha diyate asatkritam avagyatam tat tamasam udahritam. So charity in the mode of ignorance means adesha kale yaddanam, given in an improper place and at improper time. There's also time consideration, place consideration for giving charity. And apatrebhya, to an unworthy person, giving charity. That is all in the mode of ignorance. And asatkritam, that means without respect. Sometimes people give charity out of pride, out of, disrespect to that person or to that activity for which the charity is being sought. Asatkritam. Avagyatam. means without proper attention, neglectfully giving. Take and go. You can go there, collect it and go. See? Alinda tonogi neevu. See? Avagyatam. Tat tamasam udahritam. It's a tamasic charity. There will be no spiritual advancement. And contributions for, we have so many frivolous charity programs going on. Ashastrik charity initiatives. People create foundations for some games and they think that they are doing great service to human society. They are encouraging sports and for which they keep a big budget for that. That's not charity. Where is Krishna say in Bhagavad Gita? Where is spiritual advancement? So many matches are being played and then there are big funds for all of that. That's not charity. It's thamoguna it is. Contributions for indulgence in intoxication and gambling are also not encouraged here. Prabhupada says such charity is not beneficial, rather sinful persons are encouraged. So anyway. So here we can see with so much forethought and careful consideration Nanda Maharaj is giving to qualified Brahmanas. And today people think other than Brahmanas they'll give charity to everyone. Exactly opposite of what Gita teaches. Yakri Brahman kodbeko? Yakri Devasthan kodbeko? People tell that, right? Why does temple need charity? Why does Brahmins need charity? Why you devotees need charity? And here exactly Krishna is saying, Desha Kala Patre. You have to consider the Patra, is he worthy to receive charity? Is he qualified? Is he eligible? No such consideration is there. So here Nanda Maharaj is not such a kind of person. He is highly elevated in Vedic culture. So he knows when and where to give charity. The same thing is described of Yudhishthira Maharaj. These exact words are used. Yudhishthira Maharaj, who knew when and where to give charity, gave big charity at the time of Maharaja Parikshit's birth. You can read the chapter. There's a chapter in the first canto called The Birth of Maharaja Parikshit. Please read that chapter. Yeah, Krishna Balaram Gurtai Prabhupada. It's a very nice chapter. There it describes Yudhishthira Maharaj what all charity he gave. You can see like that throughout Bhagavatam Puranas, charity, 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 so much. Every occasion there is charity. As people are becoming selfish in Kali Yuga, they curse the act of charity. That means they're actually becoming more materialistic. They're becoming more selfish by nature. But in Vedic culture, people are, even grahasthas are thought to be detached. Forget brahmacharis and sannyasis in the temple. Grahasthas, the entire varnashrama system is to promote detachment, not material attachment. Material attachment is always discouraged for all the varna, for all the ashramas. Whether you're grahastha, brahmachari, vanaprastha, sannyasi, whoever you are, it's always discouraged, material attachment. Always discouraged. Then here it says, Tila Adrin Sapta. He gave charity of Tila, means grains. Food grains. Adrin, how much charity? Half kg, 1 kg. Here we had a patra. Where is that? It has gone there in the front. We have one small Akshay Patra size basil. That patra we can cook for, we can stock for 100 people's food, what we have. We have kept, 3 vessels, one for fruits, one for grains, one for flowers, like that. So there is not one vessel for stocking 100 people food. Tila Adrin, he gave grains to the extent of a hill. like Govardhan Giri. And how much? Sapta Adrin, 7 such kind of hills, extend to the extent of 7 hills of grains. He gave charity. Just grains. No, it is further enriched by Ratna Oga, Shata Kaumba Ambara Avritan. And these hills were just not grain hills. Avritan, they were also covered by Shata Kaumba Ambara, gold embroidered silken clothes. And Ratna Ogha with jewels. So these hills, 7 hills of grains, were also covered with jewels, with cloth decorated with golden embroidery. So this is the way to give charity, in such a respectful manner, in such a happy way. Then Shukadeva Goswami goes on to say here, Kalena Snana Shauchabhyam. People in Vedic culture knew how to purify themselves. It is very common knowledge. Today people have no knowledge of how to keep things pure. But in Vedic culture, even in villages, even without studying Vedas, they knew by practice, by culture, how to purify things. Whenever there is contamination, how to purify oneself, others, things around them, situation. They knew everything. This is education. This is education. So Kalena, by the passing of time, Kalena, land and other material possessions are purified. That's why when you purchase a land, there are many ways of purifying a land. First thing is you give the money and then you purchase it. That's one level of purification. That's why you have to buy the land. Never take it free. Unless you are a Brahmana or a Vaishnava. You cannot take land free because it comes with a cost. Not the gross cost, it also comes with the price of karma. People don't know that. That's why they say when you buy land, you should also ensure that the seller is very happy parting the land to you. It is not enough that you are just giving the money, it's enough. The seller, suppose you are by hook or crook, somehow you are snatching the land from him. And in that mood you take the land, you will always have trouble with that land. You always have trouble with the land. You can study this. So never cheat people, never forcefully take away, never encroach, never put others in trouble and then snatch their land, nor underprice and then purchase it, except when it's for Krishna or for a great cause. Then that is justified, not an issue. That's not an issue. That's why only Vaishnavas, Brahmanas, they're exempt from all these rules and all these things. Because they are using it for the highest cause of Krishna consciousness. Sometimes they may not exactly follow these rules. They generally follow, but if need be, to save for Krishna, they may do a lot of things. But that is exempted and allowed in the Shastra. Just like this purchase, in the Prabhupada, there was a nice pastime. The purchase of this Fisher Mansion, Detroit temple. I read that pastime long back. So, Prabhupada purchased that entire temple for about $300,000. This is the 1970s, I'm saying. $300,000 those days, 1970s. But the owner, first of all, didn't want to sell that property. So it was supposed to be prime bungalow. It's an estate, actually. So Prabhupada, the moment he saw that, he said, this is for Krishna. This is meant for Krishna. So it has to go to Krishna. This is how the devotee looks at it. Everything is meant for the seva of Krishna, enjoyment of Krishna. So he struck a deal with the owner. First of all, he didn't want to sell. Somehow Prabhupada convinced him that you have to sell. Secondly, then he had a real mad price for that, because it's really very, 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 special bungalow. Very gorgeous, very luxurious mansion actually, not bungalow, mansion. So Prabhupada bargained, finally brought it to $300,000. And finally the sale deed was done, and then it came to ISKCON's name, and then the devotees entered the house, the mansion, and then established Radha Krishna and started the worship, everything. Then the owner came, and he became so upset, because Prabhupada says, actually there were about 10 rooms in that building, mansion. He said each room itself is worth $300,000 or even more. And I have got it for $300,000 for the entire mansion. Of course, Prabhupada lighter tone says, I'm a Calcutta man, I know business. So, transcendental businessman. We have no idea what is transcendental business for Krishna. Why karmis can do business, devotees can't do business? People accuse. These are neophyte people. They have no idea. For Krishna, you can do anything. Of course, under the direction of the Acharya. Why you can't do business for Krishna? If it is for Krishna and the enjoyer is Krishna, the profit is for Krishna, what is wrong? So Prabhupada, did this deal to save money to the temple. What wrong is there? So, this man became so angry that, because the entire mansion, actually it is, what do you call? It had a lot of special fittings it had, this mansion had. Lot of special fittings. So this man, every day he would come and take away all the costly fittings and go away. He said, at least let me save something back for myself. So that much upset he was. So the point is, for Krishna, you may bargain a good price, but otherwise, you should not put the other person in trouble. Give the price. So in the course of time, land and other material possessions are purified. Sometimes they say that to purify the land, if cows are grazing in the land, it's considered extremely auspicious. You're not occupied, you just purchased, or even before purchase, suppose cows are grazing. All Vastu is taken, you don't even have to perform Vastu Homa. That is the power of the cow walking. And furthermore, it is embellished if the cow lays what is called as cow dung. See, if somebody passes stool, finished, contaminated. Then you have to do one ritual to purify the land. But here, cow passes dung. It's considered, the land is purified, no need of homa only. This is the potency of the cow. Tulsi is growing, the entire land is purified, don't require any ritual. The Tulsi will not grow everywhere. Tulsi will not grow everywhere. So if Tulsi is growing, it's very special it is. That's in everybody's house, you should have a practice of growing Tulsi at your home and doing Tulsi Puja minimum once a day, if possible twice a day, like in ISKCON temple we do. These are simple practices, we should take it up seriously, not neglectfully, not casually. You take things seriously. Vedic culture means we take things seriously. What is spoken by the Acharya, by the Shastras. We take seriously when it says give charity. We take seriously when it says chant Hare Krishna seriously. We don't take it casually. Casual life is material life. Spiritual life is serious. So you have to take these statements seriously. So Kalena, by passing of time, land and other material possessions are purified. Just giving some examples I gave. We can discuss a lot. Snana, then by bathing, your body is purified. Gross body. Not talking about the mind and intelligence. Gross body is purified by taking a bath. If you don't take bath, even externally, grossly you remain impure. Impure also means inauspicious. People don't know. They go to temple far, to do one ritual to become auspicious. Arey, take bath. Minimum once a day. If possible, twice a day. Excellent is thrice a day. But at least once a day. Nothing less than that. So snana, the body is purified. There's no compromise in these principles. Brushing teeth, the first thing in Vedic culture, the moment you get up, you have to brush your teeth and take a bath. Preferably head bath. If not, at least a bath. Full body bath. Shauchabhyam, then by being cleansed, unclean things are purified. Then samskaraihi, by purificatory process, birth is purified. That's why jata karma we discussed in the last class. Jata karma is compulsory for the birth to become purified. Your birth should be purified. So impure means inauspicious, I said, right? Opposite of that. Purified means auspicious. Simply if you remain pure. See this wonder. Simply remain pure. You will become all auspicious. You will attract all auspiciousness. You don't do big rituals, homas, pujas. Remain pure in your life. Therefore, Prabhupada said 4 negative principles. No meat eating, including fish, eggs, onion and garlic. We add today mushroom also. No intoxication, including tea and coffee and cocoa. Because these are all addictives. Therefore, they are intoxicants. No illicit connection with opposite sex. Either way. Man to woman, woman to man. Either way. Strictly prohibited. That's why Vedic culture, you don't even talk to a woman. If she is not your mother or your wife. Don't even talk. What's your business talking? If you know business, don't talk. This is purity. What is the need for talking? What is the need for talking with opposite sex? There's no need to talk at all. Unless it is extremely essential. Then do your business, get out. That's all. Do your business, get out. That's all. The purity is maintained both ways. Today, where is this situation? You don't see this situation. So anyway, then gambling. Share market, continuously observing the TV, how the share price is changing. Today they have brought in a scientific methodology in share market. There is scientific analysis. There are experts. Scientifically they will analyze. They will prediction. All these science, mathematical elements they have brought in share market. First of all, it is gambling. Prabhuji, no problem. You can put your... I'll take it to one person. Somebody took me actually. That he's a scientific analyst about shares. I heard about analysts in different fields. Now there's analysts in share markets. Total gambling. Sinful. Outrightly sinful it is. So, frivolous sports. That also comes under gambling. Frivolous sports. Mindless games, sports. These are all gambling only. Simply agitating one's mind and wasting the valuable, precious human time. And your mind, ruchi, taste is changed. What is the issue here in all these things? The taste will change. Your taste buds will change. Mind also has got a taste bud, not only tongue. You know taste bud? I like certain items. I don't like certain items. Like the mind also, you are training and culturing it to like certain things and not like certain other things. So these gambling activities are actually culturing you to taste and like things which are unfavorable for spiritual life. That is why you tell them to read Bhagavad Gita, they'll get headache. Some people tell, Swamiji, if I read Bhagavad Gita, I get headache. It's a fact actually. There's nothing to blame. It's mind psychology. Because you train your mind for fruitive activity. Fruitive activity. And that also at its peak in the form of competitive games. Earlier games were just an entertainment and fun. Today it is not that. It's very seriously taken today games. Hundreds and thousands of crores are being invested. One cricket match you play, I think one player gets how much? I don't know, 1 crore, 2 crore he gets one player. What is this? Earlier it was freely done. Simply, 2 teams will be there in the school. You play, I play, and maybe 1 cup they will give, that's okay. Cup all nobody wants. You can keep the cup at home. You can take and go. It's all cash prize. 1 crore, 2 crore. And then you hit 100. For every run, there is a prize tagged. For every wicket, there is a prize being tagged. Is it not gambling? And big companies are investing thousands of crores. Very bad. Gambling. Very impure. Anyway, so samskara hi. Where is samskara here? So by birth, one's life. See how Vedic culture is so sensitive and careful and sharp. Before your birth, only Garbhadhan Samskar is done and purified. Then immediately after birth, in case there is a residue, then further every activity you arambaha. That is described in the Bhagavad Gita, in the 4th chapter. Yasya sarve samarambha kama sankalpa varjita jnanagni dagda karmanam tamahu panditam buddhaha sama arambha. Every activity you do, it should be purified. Of course, every activity here, then you can't say, okay, I'll do gambling, and then tell the Lord, okay, my Lord, I'm remembering you, let the gambling be purified. No. Therefore, the word karma actually technically means not work. Literally means prescribed duty in the Shastras. This is described in the 3rd chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. That's why you should refer the Shastra for everything. But people don't refer. Nor they go to the devotees to consult. Then what is the position then? How they'll get guidance? Prescribed duty. See, that's what the word prescribed. It is not duty. People think, okay, if at all they say, little more smart people, karma is not work, it is duty. No, it is not duty. Karma is not duty. Karma is prescribed duty. Then what is the meaning of prescription? Prescription means somebody is prescribing, not you. Who is that somebody? That is described. It's a series of verses, beginning from that Annad Bhavanti Bhutani, that series. Krishna describes here, you see. Karma brahmodbhavam vidhi brahma akshara samudbhavam tasmat sarvagatam brahma nityam yagne pratishtitam. The 3rd chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, text 15, Krishna is saying, karma brahma udbhavam. This karma is prescribed by Brahma. Here Brahma refers to, not Lord Brahma, Vedas. Somebody may say, okay, Veda somebody has written. Some Vyasadeva, some Vopadeva. Somebody has written like that, they say. So Krishna is saying, Brahma Akshara Samudbhavam. Regulated activities are prescribed in Vedas, and the Vedas are Brahma Akshara Sama Udbhavam, coming from the Supreme Lord directly. There are many explanations here. Either it is said from the mouth, lotus mouth of the Supreme Lord, or from the breathing of the Supreme Lord, it emanated. The Lord can breathe out Vedas, not speak out Vedas. He can breathe out Vedas. Because He is omnipotent. Angani yasya sakalendri vritti manti. So Vedas are directly manifested from the Supreme Lord. So this is the point. And in the Vedas, the karma is prescribed. And this karma, who will suggest advice? The Acharya. That is also described in the Bhagavad Gita, 4th chapter. Therefore, you must approach an Acharya or a spiritual authority to know what is your duty. prescribed duty. What is prescribed by them? What you pick up yourself, that may be work. That doesn't lead to purification. So samskaraihi, therefore these samskaras, purificatory methods, these are described in the Vedic literatures. So by which one's birth is purified. Then tapasya, by austerity, senses are purified. Ijjaya, shuddhyanti, then by shuddhyanti dhanai, by worship and by charity offered to brahmanas, dravyani, material possessions are purified. By worship of brahmanas and by offering charity to brahmanas. Brahmana means here, of course don't mistake, qualified brahmanas. And a true brahmana is a Vaishnava. True brahmana is a Vaishnava. Always engaged in worship of Vishnu. His only goal of life is how to satisfy Vishnu by all ways and means. Kaya, vacha, manasa, nothing else. Such a person is actually a Brahmana. Brahmana life is not a life of livelihood. It's not a livelihood profession. Brahmana life is meant for Brahman. So it comes from Brahman, Brahmana. Brihat. Brihat, Brahman, Brahmana. That means something which is mighty, greater, highest. Brihat. Which is that Brihat? Brahman. That means the Supreme Lord. So one who sacrifices his life for Brihat or Brahman is a Brahmana. So such a Brahmana, that means actually a Vaishnava who's dedicating his life for the Lord's Seva. Who is that? He's actually called in simple words Vaishnava. The word Vaishnava also comes from the word Vishnu. Vishnu, Vaishnava. See the similarities? Sanskrit is very specific language. It's very easy to learn Sanskrit. So Vishnu, from that word also comes Vaishnava. So Vaishnava is derived from the word Vishnu actually. Because he's connected with Vishnu. Otherwise he's not a Vaishnava. His only goal of life is Vishnu. He's a Vaishnava. So therefore, worship of the Brahmanas or Vaishnavas in charity to them, giving charity to such persons, what happens? Shuddhyanti dravyani, your material possessions become purified. Then, santushtya. If you learn to remain satisfied, is a secret. The mind is purified. How are the senses purified? By tapas. That's why you should do hard work. Laziness doesn't work. You have to sweat physically for Krishna. You have to run for Krishna. Otherwise you'll run for karma. Some people say, Swamiji, how ISKCON people, how you people are working? You are saying we are working so much. You people are working more than us. Yes. Either you work for Krishna, or otherwise, as per your karma, you'll be forced to work for material life, for the life of bondage. Then you decide. You have to work for Krishna or you have to work for your karma. There's no choice, there's no third alternative. There's a third alternative. Yes, devotees must work hard, stretch. Because the senses are purified only in that way. There is no other way of purifying the senses otherwise. We don't work hard for Krishna. Physically also. That is also described in the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. See, everything is there in Gita. I will not tell the verse. You can do some homework on this. 6th chapter it is told. You have to work physically. That's why we run around. We run around. Engage the physical body in the seva of Krishna. Do worship of Krishna. Bow down to Krishna. Wash the pots of Krishna. Do cooking for Krishna. Go out and do preaching. Dance for Krishna. Gross senses. That's why you have to dance physically. Senses don't become purified otherwise. Simply, don't become purified. You have to dance physically. Your hands and legs must move. Hands must go clapping the Sankirtan like that. So then the mind is purified by satisfaction. This also describes the 17th chapter of Bhagavad Gita also. How the mind is purified. 17th chapter. You can read Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada's Gita, and figure out that verse also. 2 verses you have homework to do. Santushtya, being satisfied, the mind is purified. Mental purification. Then Atma Vidyaya. How is the Atma purified? Shuddhyanti Atma. By Atma Vidya, self-realization. That is Krishna consciousness. So by self-realization, which is actually called Krishna consciousness, the soul becomes purified. Not by rituals. Not by rituals. The soul is not purified by rituals and homas. In India, you see, typically, people are so much for homa. Soul is not purified. It's purified, but the effect is feeble. The most potent form of soul purification is technically called Krishna consciousness. This also Prabhupada makes that point in Bhagavad Gita. Search out this word. The most potent form of purification is Krishna consciousness. Technically called Krishna consciousness, Prabhupada says. See how nicely, deeply, sharply Prabhupada writes and chooses the words. We simply read, we get headache. That's why you have to pray to the Acharya to develop ruchi for reading Bhagavad Gita, ruchi for chanting Hare Krishna, ruchi for serving Krishna. You should pray when you come in front of the deity. Give me taste. Like gulab jamun, you get taste. You don't have to pray for that. Krishna, give me taste for gulab jamun. You don't have to pray that. Naturally you have. But for chanting Krishna's name, you should pray, give me the taste. The sweetness of that Hare Krishna, of the Bhagavatam, of your beautiful forms, you have to pray. So, the standard of purification. What is the standard of purification? Just like engineering, standard is IIT. Standard is Massachusetts. It's standardization, right? What is standardization of purification? Among all the methods of purification, Krishna talks about that in the 4th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. It's a series of verses. You can study that also. Find out that also. It's the 3rd exercise you have. By doing this exercise, your intelligence becomes purified, which is not mentioned here. By studying Shastra, what is written here, what is written there, what is the link there, what is the link there, where did Prabhupada say this, where did Krishna say that, where did Shukadeva Goswami speak? Your intelligence is searching after Krishna. So your intelligence is purified in this way. Oh, this chapter this was told, that verse this was told, the purport this is told. This is intelligence purification. Intellectual purification. So, in the 4th chapter, Krishna discusses varieties of purification, from the gross to subtle. Okay. So, but the highest standard of purification, one is highest standard, second thing, see 2 different things. Highest standard of purification, standardization of purification, and most potent form of purification is technically called Krishna consciousness. Which is what Prabhupada and the Acharyas have taught us, which we are practicing and we are teaching that to the people. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, all of these things. It's the most potent forms of devotional service. So, and among these, the holy name is the ultimate method of purification and the most practical form which Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave for people in Kali Yuga. This is discussed in Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita also. Just read 2-3 more things and I'll close. Here, in Narada Pancharatra, Prabhupada quotes in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Trayo Veda Shad Angani Chandamsi Vivida Suraha Sarvam Ashtaksharantastham Yat Chanyad Apivan Mayam Sarva Vedanta Sarartha Samsararnava Taranaha. What does this mean? This is a quote by Narada Muni, Narada Pancharatra. So Narada Muni is saying, Trayo Vedaha, from all the 3 Vedas. Vedas are 4, but there's a different context, but generally Vedas are considered 3. Rig, Yajur, Sama, otherwise generally not considered as part of the Veda. It is added on. Anyway, this is one understanding. We'll not go into the technicality of this now. Trayo Veda means 3 Vedas, Rig, Yajur and Sama. So by studying all the 3 Vedas, Shad Angani, with all the 6 corollaries of Vedas. There are 6 corollaries of Vedas. Then Chandamsi, that means Vedic hymns. By chanting of various Vedic hymns. Suraha, and the processes of satisfying devatas by worship. Suraha. Sarvam, all of these means what? The study of all the 3 Vedas. Then Shad Angani with all the 6 corollaries. Then chanting all the varieties of Vedic hymns. ISKCON generally we don't do. You might not observe, not have observed also. We have only one mantra chanting all the time. You will see why. Chandamsi, Vivida, varieties of millions and trillions of Vedic hymns, which you see in all the temples generally. Suraha, and even worship of devatas, which again we don't do in ISKCON. People sometimes become offended. Oh, why you people don't worship devatas? You're all devotees, you are all pious people, you're all astikas, not nastikas. Sarvam ashtakshara antastham. Yaccha anyad apivanmayam. So Narada Muni is telling, Sarvam, all of these things are antarastham, within or included within Ashtakshara. What is the Ashtakshara? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Of course, Prabhupada says in the meaning, Ashtakshara refers to Hare Krishna, Ashtakshara. This is our Ashtakshara mantra. People don't know this secret. Hare Krishna, Ashtakshara. So it is Antar Ashtaksharantam, Yaccha Vanmayam. Everything is included in this. Further, Narada Muni, who is explaining, say, I am not telling this, right? So you have to respect these words of Narada Muni. Otherwise, where do you stand in spiritual life? Where do you stand in spiritual life if you don't respect Narada's words and don't take it seriously? That's why I said spiritual life is taken seriously. We don't take it casually. Okay, lecture is over, okay, fine, you do what you want again. Again get your rituals and homas. So we don't do like that. That means you are neglecting. That means it's an offense to Narada Muni's words. You have wasted Narada's time. Why do you take advice from Narada Muni then? It's like typically you go to a doctor and doctor painstakingly analyzes you, diagnoses you, and then he'll give a prescription. And then you come and you just throw off the prescription somewhere. Or you keep the prescription safely in a cupboard and then you take what medicine you want. Is that okay? Then what do we say? This fellow has no respect to the doctor. See his attitude to the doctor. He has no value for the doctor. Then why is he going to the doctor? Isn't it? We'll tell that, right? Just like mother will say to the children typically, why are you neglecting taking your medicine? Simply wasting doctor's time also, his prana also. You'll go and cry there and you don't follow him when he gives a prescription. Like that sometimes parents tell, right? Narada Muni is telling we don't take seriously. We will do what we want again. So therefore people don't understand why we are very particular and strict about certain things. Because Narada Muni is telling, Vedavyasa is telling, Prabhupada is telling, Krishna is telling, not your friend telling, that you may neglect. So Narada Muni is telling Ashtakshara, it is Hare Krishna. And he is saying Sarva Vedanta Sara Artha. This is the reality of all Vedanta. Sarva Vedanta Sara Artha. This is the explanation given by Narada. No, you don't give another explanation because you are not Narada Muni. You cannot give your explanation. Narada Muni is giving the explanation. This is the reality of all Vedanta, essence of all Vedanta, he is saying. See, when we explain people, Hare Krishna, ella ide. See, they take us casually. You may take us casually, but there is no treatment for your disease of what is that is explained in Samsara Arnava Taranaha. Tarana means to cross over. Samsara Arnava. Arnava means ocean. Samsara means the life of bondage, repeated cycle of birth and death. It's not one cycle, two cycle, three cycle. It's an Arnava. Unlimited cycles, just like ocean. You cannot find the depth. It's unlimited practically. So similarly, there's unlimited repeated cycles of birth and death. So, Dharanaha, not possible. But, chanting of the holy name of the Lord, Narada Muni is saying, is the only means to cross the ocean of nescience. Is the reality of all Vedanta, essence of all Vedanta. And in this chanting, all other purificatory methods are included, including reading of Vedas, chanting Vedic hymns, following all the Vedic corollaries, and worshipping the Devatas. Everything is included simply in this chanting of the holy name. And Madhvacharya finally quotes in Narayana Samhita, he's writing, Dwaparair Janair Vishnu Pancharatrais Kevalai. In Dwapar Yuga, the worship of the Lord is done by deity worship. The satisfaction of Vishnu is executed, is achieved by worshipping him in the temples. But Kalautu Nama Matrena Pujyate Bhagavan Harihi. Madhvacharya says, but in Kali Yuga, the worship of the Supreme Lord, satisfaction of the Supreme Lord is achieved simply by chanting his holy name. The ultimate form of purification. So, there are many methods of purification. One can take advantage of all these methods, and if they are unavailable for whatever the reason, you don't know the Vedic mantra, it's not a proper place to perform yajna, because Deshakala Patra is there, but for chanting holy name, Tatrarpita Nimita Kalena Smarana. Under any circumstance, anywhere and everywhere, one can chant Vishnu's name, Krishna's name, and feel purified and blessed. So that is the speciality of contacting or chanting the holy name of Vishnu or Krishna. And in that also it is specified Hare Krishna mantra particularly. But again, of course, any Vishnu name is fine. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has recommended this because Hare Krishna mantra includes all the other mantra chanting. It is not exclusion. People think, why you are not chanting other mantras? Actually, we are chanting all mantras, you are only chanting few mantras. We are chanting all mantras. You people are chanting only few mantras. So like this we should learn from the acharyas and remain purified. Simply chant Hare Krishna and become purified. The ultimate form of purification, leading to Krishna realization, which is the goal of human life. Stop here. Kantrad Srimad Bhagavatam.